we are currently at the residence of a renowned educationist, Anis Hafaz, who is the founder and CEO of Gate Institute, which is gifted and talented education, here to delve into a very serious conversation which has raised much concern in our country. And our topic for today is poor performance of 2025 WASI candidates, symptoms of ailing education system in our country. And I am Nanecha Abwadi, your host for the program. But before we delve into this conversation, this program is sponsored by Nixie. I want to ask you this important question, that Charlie, how do you start your day if you haven't had your cup Nixie Choco, my guy? You are missing out, pa. The great new taste of Nixie Choco will make your day and every day, everything day inside. All that you need is your hot water and enjoy yourself. As we say, chani hot, it's just chani hot. And if coffee is your thing, then Miski has got you sorted. Try and enjoy a creamy, smooth taste of coffee for everyday hustle. Just one sip and you are good to go. You feel so good to yourself. So that is Nixie for you, sponsoring this great program. Sir, good morning.
Good morning to you. You are most welcome to my office.
Thank you so much. So the provisional results of the 2025 West African examination released by WAEC has really raised much concerns. Damning verdict of Ghana's education, as it stands now, a total of 55.82% of candidates obtained grade A1 to C6 in 2025, compared with 71.53% in 2024. This 15.71% fall makes the 2025 output the lowest since 2021, when 66.03% passed. This called for a serious conversation, but the question this morning is this the true state of our education? Where did we go wrong as a country? And what should we be doing as a country and as a ministry to reverse the situation? That is why this morning we are here to delve into such a conversation. But I want to ask you your reaction based on the provisional results for this year.
Good. Thank you very much. You know, I've always spoken about the results whenever they are released. I mean, for the past 10, maybe 15 years and so on. The concern that I have is that we have a system that fails young people. In an ideal situation, no child in this country needs to fail. So if children are failing or adults are failing, the question is this: how are we failing them? And can we prevent it? Now, the system that we have now is called a summative assessment. A summative assessment means that at the end of, let's say, 10 years or so, we do an analysis of who can pass and who can fail. You know, that's what we call a summative assessment. There's another form of assessment called the continuous assessment. Continuous assessment does not allow a situation where you put all the kids in one particular room and see who will go on to the next level or not. So the concern is this: if we want to use WAEC as a form of assessment, invariably there will always be people who fail. And I don't believe that. There was a program that I was doing, and I still do here, where every child should pass. Now, again, we also want to look at how these things happen. You know, why did we wait till the 11th hour to find out that these young people are going to fail? You know, couldn't we tell the year before that? So there's something that we call the dashboard. A dashboard means that we keep track of young people's progress consistently so that we are not surprised. Now, the whole country is surprised because we didn't expect this. Now, what a dashboard would do is that it keeps track of the progress of young people over a period of time, and then the correctives are made immediately. What a dashboard does, for example, is this, and I think we did a program about this some time back. What a dashboard does is this. We want to know how many kids are in a particular classroom at any time. We want to know if the teachers are on task at any time, in real time. We want to know if there's some absenteeism and so on. These are the elements that will prevent these failures happening. But the bigger question is this: is at this point in time, is WIAC fit for purpose? And what I mean is that WIAC is really an offshoot of the Cambridge program. I mean, I went to school and we did the O levels, the A levels, and so on. Things have changed. What Cambridge questions will do is this: they will test to see if you remember some of the things that you have been taught. Now, people like me, I was always in trouble because I can't memorize stuff,
Okay.
So we also want to look at the nature of the questions themselves. If the question lends itself to repetition, what we call lower thinking skills and so on, we need to really get away from that and see what is it that can be hands-on for young people. You'll be surprised when young people are doing projects, when they are doing activities, they don't fail. But this particular situation where we now sit behind a desk trying to remember information, whether you like it or not, it's not good for everybody.
Yeah.
Some will do very well, others will not do very well. And then we also want to look at the purpose of education itself. I mean, I really sympathize with the young people who are doing these kinds of exams because they have to cram. They have to do some of the same things that we have to do. So the time has come now where we have to begin to look at the whole education system, what's ailing it, and if WIAC is fit for purpose in terms of what the world is going right now.
This morning, we had an interview with some of the candidates, and one other guy said that he is so sad because personally, he didn't involve himself in any exams malpractices, but when the results came, he has failed, including his friends. And his others also made mention that at the examination hall, they had police security personnel inside invigilating them, creating some kind of pressure on them, preventing them to even recall the thing that they've learned. It was strange because we were hearing for the first time that a military man at the center, I don't know whether it's all the centers across the country or a particular center, creating that kind of tension and fear among our students. What do you make of that?
It's impossible to excel under such it's an abusive situation.
Yeah.
Where it's a little you feel a little suppressed, like I mean, yeah, looking at you as if you have some kind of vagabond and so on. That will not release the best parts of your brain. So these are things that we have to take into consideration. We have to be in an environment where it's friendly, where it's useful, where you feel that you are not under duress and so on. That's what examinations do.
Sure.
So, but these days, the world is changing.
Absolutely.
We don't want to just, in fact, there are places where they don't even do these exams. If they do the exams, it's for, what do you call, it's a diagnostic type of exam to see where the young people are going and what we can do to help them. You see, our situation is what we can do to remove, what did you say, 50% out of the stock. Now, that's not augur word for this country. The idea is this: children have to feel that there's a purpose in what they're doing. These things are coming up because we have to begin to look at a bigger picture.
Absolutely.
Children need to feel that they are welcome, there's a friendly environment, that there's a purpose for which they are doing these exams and so on. But when the stress element comes in, it becomes difficult. So again, what we have to do now is to prepare young people for the world of work. You see, look at the degrees that we have in this country. I mean, you go to any of these departments, they have degrees in buckets. But the point is, what are we doing with it?
Deal with it.
Somewhere along the line, the students or the children might not be able to articulate exactly what is ailing them. But they feel that we are human. It comes to mind. I went through that when I was a young person. I hated exams, but I was good at particular things. So all I'm saying is this: we have to now begin to look at how we can help every young person to succeed. We don't have to come back this time next year and talk about exam results again. We have to come back next year and say, students were able to do this. They were able to think this way. They were able to express their opinions that way. You know, this is what education is supposed to be. We want to bring the best out of people. You know, if consistently exam scores are not helping that, then we have to kick it into some other kind of behavior, exciting activities that will help people. Because, you know, I've traveled quite widely, and you realize that the cognitive abilities of people are the same.
Absolutely.
Whether they are from China, whether they are from Mexico, whether they are from the US, whether they are from Ghana, and so on, it's all the same. But here, we have a tendency to suppress people. And this is what I've been talking about since I started teacher education in 1995. You know, the same person who has failed here, process them in another country, take them to the Scandinavian countries, and they will excel.
Yeah.
Why? It's the environment in which you are raising young people.
They will definitely be the first in class.
It happens. It happens all the time.
Absolutely.
I've been taking a lot of children out of this country for competition in Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, and so on, and they excel. But of course, we prepare them for them to be successful. What we have to do is, what is it that we can do that to have every Ghanaian child shine? That is not in our mindset. Our mindset is the regular WIAC examination where 50% are going to fail. Now, can you imagine if you are tagged with failure
Yeah.
at this age? The rest of your life, what are you going to do?
It's going to affect
Meanwhile, you'll be good for something else. This is a big debate for us to begin to look at how we can look at, I'll call this, we are at an inflection point. Let me make this inflection point business. There have been a series of activities in this country that tell us that we can't continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. The first time was in 1964, when Lee Kuan Yew was here in Ghana at the invitation of Kwame Nkrumah. And then he looked at our curriculum. Those days we didn't have a curriculum, we had syllabus. Whatever we have here, you talk about curriculum, we are looking at syllabus. Syllabus is what you are going to study and how you are going to test it. Curriculum is different. It's what you are going to do with the knowledge that you get. Now, Lee Kuan Yew was here, and he said, my goodness, this is a beautiful agricultural country. But you have us locked up in classrooms, studying Latin and Greek, and memorizing information. What good is it going to do for us? Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. That was an inflection point. It should have spoken to us that we can't continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. Now, the other inflection point was the introduction of Google. You know, what Google does is that it will give you any information under the sun at any point in time. So that even if you don't have an answer to this particular exam question, you can go to Google and get it, which is just as good because you want answers. So that inflection point says that now we can't have people just memorizing information because there's a machine that will memorize the information for you so that you come for the information as and when you need it in real time because you want to use it to do something else. Good. So that had to change. So WIAC had to change correspondingly because we have access to information. Now remember, in our time, in the colonial times, check this. We used to have pounds, shillings, and pence. So it said 1,000 pounds, 14 shillings, and 7 pence times 6. You know, you can spend the whole day doing that. Now, with AI, you can do all these things. So all I'm saying is this. Again, what we also used to teach us when I was in secondary school, what they call simultaneous equations. They would tell you that a train leaves Takoradi to Kumasi, a distance of, let's say, 200 kilometers, traveling at 40 miles per hour. Another train leaves Kumasi, going into Takoradi, traveling at 70 miles per hour. When will they meet? And then simultaneous equation, we spend hours doing this sort of thing. I was never good at it. Today, give that same information to AI, and you get it, the answer is split seconds.
So you're calling for AI to be involved in our education system.
All of that. What I'm saying is this, you know, we live in the best of times and the worst of times. The worst of times is the situation that we are discussing right now. Masses of our young people are failing. But the best of time means that there are tools that will make things better. I'll give you another example. When you begin to look at even language acquisition, whether you want to pass tree or Fanti or English or whatever it is. In a good situation, now we need to have a language arts lab. You see, because when we were studying French, I was studying French for about 4 years in French school. I could never speak it because there was only one teacher that we were listening to. Now the tools are available. You know, you have audio visuals, you have software packages, you have headphones. You can really see education happening in real life. You know, but then there were 100 of us, and if 100 of us couldn't speak it, does it mean we are all stupid? It's the way we are teaching. But then that was in the past. Things have changed. So when I say the best of times, it means that we have the means at our disposal, where I insist every child in this country to
So,
pass.
so with your expertise, how should government and stakeholders approach this?
Well, first of all, we need to identify the problems that we have in the education system right now. And we need to define where we want to go in the future. That's what I said, that this syllabus, this WIAC thing is all on syllabus. It's not a curriculum. A curriculum teaches you how to do things, okay? So how we should approach it is this. First of all, we need the teacher education has to be up and doing, okay? We have to have a certain crop of teachers so that when I was quite pleased when we began to license teachers because for the first time, teachers begin to see their profession as serious. So this is something that has to be done. And then we have to give them the means by which they can be successful. If you have 60 or more students in a classroom, my goodness, I mean, that's tough. That's tough for any teacher. And then the preparation itself. I mean, I've done training from Accra all the way to WA and the rest of it. It's very difficult to see those who are teaching teachers at the school site, who are helping or modeling particular behaviors, guided lessons that that the teachers can learn. They are all on their own, so that's very difficult. So these are things that you want to consider. We have to again, you know, when you look at the the our focus should also be on the ethics of work. You know, people see work as tedious. You know, we don't want to get our hands dirty, and therefore, when you see people who should go to the school sites, I mean, look at when we talk about schools that are really deprived, you won't see any professor from any teacher training there, because if he has to go to a bathroom, where's he going to go? Do you see what I mean?
I
So they leave
understand.
students and teachers to their own devices. So where we're going to go forward is that we have to begin to address some of these key issues. Education should be comfortable. I would tell you this. This year sometime, I did a program in, I think, Malaysia. You should see the environment in which these children are being raised. Breakfast is buffet. Are you with me? Lunch is buffet. Dinner is buffet. The toilets have water. They have toilet paper. They have soap. Do you see what that does to a person's
Absolutely. It
imagination
really prepares
and the
you.
comfort?
Yeah.
We are so stressed. I mean, I look at children in this country, invariably, except for the private schools,
Yeah.
many good private schools, the stress level itself is too much. You know, how do you survive in a situation like this? There was another training that I was doing in the Quanta district, where these children have to walk
Mouse.
distances. If it's raining, the place is muddy, and I've seen little children holding each other's hands, trying to cross rivers and stuff. You know, by the time you get to the classroom, how much of your energy is left? And then I went back the same time when it was the dry season and the dust. So we have these structural problems too, which have to be addressed. It's not an easy matter, but they have to be addressed. The comfort that I have, again, is that the cognitive ability of our young people in this country are just as good as any. I've taught Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, just name it. And I'm from Africa, and I was the one who was doing the teaching. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I started school in a little village called Tutuka in Obuasi. So what I'm saying, the opportunities are there. We have to now begin to respect our young people. Sometimes the culture gets in the way, even the way we treat our young people. You know, I can't tell you the names that we were called when a teacher said, "What is 3 times 3?" And you say 6. Obedi duatem. Do you see what I'm saying? These things they've changed.
Yeah.
But the assessment means that the kid doesn't really understand the difference between addition and multiplication. So the culture also has to be.
So it means that it's our system of teaching, our mode of teaching, which is really affecting the students.
It's antiquated. It's too old. It's too old. That's what I mean by when teachers are at the school sites, those who are doing the teacher training should be there with them. But I've not seen one because the environment that they're going to perform in is not conducive. So they don't want to be bothered.
Okay, so now let's focus on exams malpractices. And we know that this year about 16 persons, including invigilators and teachers, have been convicted. And finally, in this particular exams, we know that it's also a contributor to their poor performance. How do you take it?
How I take it
Because
is this.
because it's like we saw or we heard that people went there with textbooks, with foreign materials to aid them, right? And also teachers were also taking money from them to help them, which is like a whole haha in the country.
You know, if you're a parent, let's be frank about this. If you're a parent and your child's life depends on passing this particular examination, let me tell you this. You turn heaven and hell to make sure that they pass. So we have to begin to avoid that. We have to begin to avoid summative assessment that is punitive. You know, it's scary. If you have a child who's going to do exams and the whole life involves passing this particular exam, whatever you have to do to make them succeed, you will do it. I'm not saying to justify it, but that's a relative for a lot of people.
So if I understand, it means that our system is focused on study, go right and pass your exams.
That's what it is.
That's
And it's
it.
been like this since the colonial times. You know, I mean, we have to now look at how we can bring the best out of young people without putting them unduly under such stressful conditions.
Stressful conditions.
It's not everybody who's good at exams. You know, so a continuous assessment is this. That will be difficult to measure. But a continuous assessment means that from JHS1, there are particular things that you're doing that is recorded over a period of time and you develop a portfolio. So that when it comes to the final part, you know where you stand. But if this is almost like there are trick questions.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, you are in trouble and so on. But a continuous assessment will focus on you from the beginning all the way to the end to look at your good points, to look at where the correctives have to be and so on. That's sophisticated, you know, but that will be difficult to measure.
So this is actually a reflection of the quality teaching we have as in how we are being taught in Ghana. That's fine. So it's like these issues happening are raising a lot of concerns has to be dealt with by getting our government and our stakeholders on board to bring out proactive measures in order to resolve all these. So now some argue that increased enrollment without a proportional expansion of resources has also affected our education system in Ghana.
Very much so. I mean, that's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about it, but that's what it is. I mean, when I was at the function, there were 600 of us. We knew each other. The teachers knew us. We knew them. And even then, discipline was a problem then. But now you have 2,000, 3,000 kids. Again, if you want to look at, I'll give you another example. Do you know University of Development Studies?
EDS, yeah.
I went and did a program there. And then when I was flying back the next day, we have lights. You can see the lights on the horizon. Millions and millions of light bulbs. Not one is produced in this country. What does that tell you? A curriculum should address that.
Address that.
That we need lights. And the part of what we're doing is making sure that at the end of the day, we are not going to write a report for you. We are going to produce a particular product. Say, this is my degree. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely, I
Your
get you.
degree should not be a piece of paper or some research that nobody is going to pay attention to. All that is ridiculous. We
Okay,
need to
so
change
our
that.
final advice to students
Oh, you're leaving
and
me now?
teachers. Yeah, because we are live, and so your final advice for teachers and students as they are watching us.
Good. You know, I was chairing a panel somewhere in the north for promotion of directors and that sort of thing. And most of them don't even have an access to computers. And then this going to be a supervisor, and you don't know how to use computers to develop your lesson plans, your schemes of work. So I said, look, don't depend on the government for that. Spend your own money for 3 months and learn IT. IT specifically so that it can help you to develop your lesson plans and so on. Now, the funny thing is that some of the kids who come are familiar with computers, but then if you, the teacher or the district head, is not familiar with it, how are they going to respect you? So all I'm telling teachers now is that teaching is a lifelong projection, in fact, for every profession. But then don't depend on others to give to you what you yourself need. At the age of 22, 23, 24, you don't know what you need to become a good teacher. These are the things that we have to begin to understand, that we have to begin to invest in ourselves. That, look, I'm 78 and I'm studying now more than I've ever done because things are changing all the time. And then with Google, with AI and so on, it makes life much easier. So the turmoil that we went through, younger people don't have to go through that right now. So access to technology is very, very important. And again, like I told you, some of the simultaneous equations that we used to do, memory yada. A train leaves here, goes there. I've never even had the need to even look at where trains are going and coming from. But those who want to get into that kind of engineering need it.
Sure.
But it's not everybody else. But if AI is going to solve that problem for you, now how is it? So what I'm saying is this: these are the best of times, where every information under the sun is available. In our time, whatever teacher said, you wrote it down. Your opinion was never important. But now, what is happening in the medical field is very interesting. Before a patient comes to you, they've gone on AI and
AI.
found out what their ailments are.
Yeah.
So as they are talking to you as a doctor, they want to know how qualified you are because they have prior prepared
The
information.
information.
So now they are testing you
Yeah.
to see if you're good at it
You're
or not.
good.
And it's at the disposal of everybody else. The key thing is this: two things. Language skills are very, very important. English, because if you want to go to I don't see AI doing mathematics in my local language, but they do it in English. If you want some scientific research, it's all in English. So English is very, very important. That's one. And number two, mathematics is very important too, because you go into a contract and you're going to be paid 25% of something. You need to know what it is.
Yeah.
These are the basic tools. The rest of it, you can learn on your own.
Okay, we are so much grateful for your time on our channel, Bullet TV. So that was a renowned educationist, and there's a Hafaz, Hafar,
How far?
Hafar, also speaking on the poor performance of the 2025 WASI candidates and also the symptoms of our ailing education system we have in Ghana. And he emphasized that we need AI in our education system. We need much technological efforts in our education system to help also not to put much stress on our students, and also conditions of services are very, very important to aid our teachers and our students. So we are so much grateful, and we're back again to seek more knowledge as being a renowned educationist. We are so much grateful. I am Nane Chamwaje, and we came to you live from the residence of the founder and CEO of Gate Institute. Say thank you for your time.
You're most welcome.